from behind, and Sebastian Marin, your first repeat top split winner of the qualifying series.
We knew it was just a matter of time when Hunter Sr. is victorious.
Josh Adams taking the win at Iowa.
Juicy Spider Motorsports takes home the 1-2-3 finish.
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs. From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items. Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
Introducing Tractor USA, the best way to buy and sell premium ag and construction equipment. Tractor USA was designed to be straightforward, simple, and affordable with zero commission and live auctions every week. Tractor USA auctions offer the finest selection of pre-owned tractors, combines, and other ag and construction equipment from across the United States and the world. Simply go to tractorusa.com to get started today.
Walking and Rolling Costumes started when my son Reese was born with cancer.
So when I was 3 years old, I got my first wheelchair.
And he wanted to be Wall-E for Halloween that year. And so I knew you couldn't buy a costume to go on a wheelchair at that time. So I knew I had to build one.
My dad ended up building a Wall-E costume out of a Dell computer box.
When we were all finished, he loved it. We took pictures of it and shared it on social media. So many people started sharing it that we started getting requests from people we didn't know.
In 2015, we decided to build them for other kids because people were asking, hey, can you build them for my kid?
So we started the nonprofit organization, Walking and Rolling Costumes, and we build costumes for kids all over the nation, free of charge to the families.
After last week's shakeup in the points, the reset, and a new name at the top of the leaderboard, Elliott Butler found his way to victory lane at Talladega. But tonight, it's back to mile and a halves as we find ourselves in Florida for the second race of the chase. Season number 6, Homestead Miami Speedway and the Saturday Night Racing League, presented by M&J Distributors. Welcome in, everybody. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper, alongside Connor Horn. Connor, Homestead used to be the venue for, well, pretty much everything. It was all decided here for years, and I think they're coming back to that. But here in Saturday Night Racing League, it's going to dictate maybe a new points leader again, because it was the first victory that Elliott Butler had since 2022. So for him to get back into victory lane, that's an accomplishment, but it could be short-lived with the points lead.
He's hoping it's not. I mean, we've seen him kind of have an up and down year at Talladega. Obviously, the high point, his first win in this league. Like you said, his first league win, really, of any kind in over 4 years. So we'll see if he can back that up. Only the points leader by 4 points. We talked a lot early in the year about how Bailey Turner led the points all the way through last season. Well, that has been the complete opposite. Even though the wins are pretty stacked between 4 separate drivers, and Elliott Butler is the only winner who only has 1 win. Everyone else is a multi-time winner. We've swapped the points lead 7 times this year, from Telganoff. Telganoff's had it, Caleb Weekly's had it, Kenny Kibbe's had it multiple occasions, Jeff Wright, Bailey Turner, AJ Stravato as well, who's back tonight as well. We'll see if he can make up a lot of points tonight, but obviously Elliott Butler, big win at Talladega, puts him 4 points in front, but Bailey Turner's got to be the favorite in this title fight right now. 8 points over Banks, 9 over Kenny Kibbe, 12 over Jeff Wright. Pretty huge numbers there as well. A lot of points over Philip Brewer, even though it's not correct. I believe he's 21 back, Philip Brewer. He's in the hunt as well. We've seen a lot of drivers have great runs at Homestead in the past, but we have not come here very often. Only once in this car have we come here, and this has been all over the schedule. We've had the season finale here where Bailey Turner was crowned a champion already. We had this as race 2 in season 2, I believe, at one point as well, but it's only our 3rd visit here. We do not go here very often.
Yes, and with the rescan, the art update to this racetrack, the surface is different. Used to be a little bit more multi-groove. Now it looks like it's bottom dominant. We'll take a look here at our track map. Homestead, Miami. It opened back November 5th, 1995, and it was very flat. Did not have this progressive banking that we see here today of 18 degrees in this 4-corner D-shaped oval. Of course, put on a fantastic show for every season finale. Think back to Carl Edwards and Tony Stewart back in the day. But with that, it's time to take you trackside, get the grid up on the screen. Starting on the top spot here today, it's the 35 of Joshua Banks, a 34-210, and Adam Cabot back out on the racetrack. He will start outside on the front row. It's going to be Bailey Turner and Jeff Wright fighting for this championship. Jeff Wright hoping to turn it all around here. He will start in the 4th position. Philip Brewer and AJ Stravato. A lot of these guys that are top 14 in the points are going to start top 14 on this race. Ray Massey and J.R. Shepard starting 7th and 8th. And then your top 10 with Dakota Floyd and Chuck Sweeting.
And Chuck Sweeting, 36 points back to start today. Brian Chambliss not in the chase hunt. He's hoping for a fuel mileage race. We talk about it all the time. It's the one note I have on him is that he's won a fuel mileage race at Atlanta. I won't let y'all forget it. I'm sure he's okay with that. Justin Ritchie's going to start 12th. Underrated season for him, but he wasn't here last week either, so he's way back in the points order. 13th will be Seth Hatchell. Model of consistency, 6th in points. Only 17 back for him. Derek Garrison, it's his first start in about a month since Old Atlanta, as we'll go 1 to go. We'll go green next time by. So Garrison's back. 4th start of the season. He'll start 14th. 15th position, Caleb Weekly, points leader very earlier in the season. A ways back in the points as well, but not over yet. Case Lakatos in the 16th spot. 17th position, Christopher Hodges to 15, looking for a solid run. Kenny Kibbe, talking about his qualifying a lot as well. Another point that we hammer home. He starts way back in 18th. A lot of work to do. And Matt Shinosky, who's had some pretty good runs as of late, goes sour. He starts 19th. And last week's winner at Dega, Elliott Butler, will start back in 20th.
8 more cars to talk about. Jack Klinger deep in this field, 21st spot to start for this one. Bryce Shoemaker, 22nd. Finn Laughter and Stephen Davis. And the last car to take a time will be the 64. Then you have Keith Shoemaker, Broderick Back-Lavick, Brandon Wallace, and Austin Belkey to round out your 28-car field. Chase race number 2. 140 laps here this evening. 50 miles per hour on the pit road. Speed limit, 6 tire sets, 3 green-white checkers, 100% fuel on an iRacing fixed setup. A lot of drivers complaining that it was tight. It might take a few laps, but 131 degrees before practice ended. Track temperature expected to go back up to that temperature in just a moment. But here we go, live from Homestead, Miami Speedway. Saturday Night Racing League, into the start zone we go. Chase race 2 is underway. Checking lap 1, it's going to be the 17 of Adam Cabot. Got pulled out ahead, just barely enough there on Joshua Banks in that first lap. But like I said, Connor, this race looks like it's going to be bottom heavy. Everyone's going bottom. You don't see that here. And it's going to be difficult to get the pass completed.
It's still going to be difficult to get a pass completed on that bottom because that driver can just pinch you down to the white line and you can just not over push the throttle. This is a track where you can't push for 10 laps and be okay. If you push maybe for 3 laps a little bit too hard on your tires, you are going to be falling back at some point. This track is a cheese grater for tires, so much so we might see an extra pit stop from some drivers on an alternate strategy. That's how big the tire wear is, especially in these O'Reilly Auto Parts cars, especially when the track temp's about at 130 degrees. But that might play in Jeff Wright's favor as he's looking for second.
Banks kind of gets shuffled out there, but the same product that got Banks backed up to Wright creates a 3 wide situation off of turn 4. There's Bailey Turner in the 24 looking for that second spot. The top 5 could throw a blanket over it. Cabot pulls away a little bit. There's Phillip Brewer way up the racetrack. High line for the 44.
I think you can see it work late in the run for drivers who keep their tires in check, but if you wear them out early, there's really no line that's going to work for you. You can get a huge run down the straightaways here. You give up most of it, or at least a little bit of it, really on the entry to center, but you can make it all back on the exit of the corner, but you have to have a firm throttle, can't really lift out of it, got to keep the momentum up on the top line, and you have to have the tire to do it.
Proposed 44, like you said, getting a really good run off the exit, but not able to do anything with it. It's going to take a few laps. Connor, I'm concerned running this early, this high this early, really have anything at the end of this run. You know, we're talking about 50 laps probably on fuel plus. Do you want to push the car this early?
I mean, it depends on who you are. I mean, someone not in the chase, maybe I would probably go for it and just see how quickly the tires fall off if I'm running up there, if I'm running hard. I think Phillip Brewer, he's got a shot, an outside shot at the championship, but it's still a shot nonetheless. I would not really be wanting to risk it. I'd be just trying to save my stuff until we get to that pit stop, probably sometime before around lap number 50. So you're going to be saving a long time until you can at least push your stuff a little bit and make some speed on the long run. You have to save a lot here.
We're looking at Justin Ritchie, was taking a stab at the 11th spot. Seth Hatchell. They got to his outside there briefly. Hatchell now diving to the inside of Chuck Sweeting. Momentum swings back and forth, but nobody really making up any ground. 1, maybe 2 positions gained for anybody in this top 10. And it's stagnant through this field. The biggest mover, Elliott Butler, excuse me, and he's only gained 4.
And he's been running that higher line. We worried about it all the time, running that high line, especially here more than everywhere else. You run that high line, you push your stuff hard, you'll be falling back soon enough. That's what I worry about with the 6 car. That's what I worry about with Justin Ritchie. We saw he was in on the top line to turn 3 and 4 on lap number 1. He actually got in the wall as Butler almost got to the side of the 9 there, slipped the racetrack, already sliding really all 4 tires. And this is one of the few tracks you literally do a 4-tire slide, just completely sliding out of a corner. Every single tire, every single wheel is just working against you at a track with this grip.
Watch it here on the onboard. A lot of counter steer, cars just scooting up the racetrack. You can see that kind of counter it a little bit. But for Butler, that's a pretty good line. Unfortunately, lost a lot of time there, trying to get around Chambliss. Casey Lakatos going to look to the inside. Justin Ritchie going to lose a spot here, possibly in the 50 clear off of 4. He will.
Just barely was able to get back in front of the 9, trying to work over the 50 of Casey Lakatos. We're on board with 12th position. That's the battle there. Furthest up battles for 3rd, but Jeff Wright continues to keep it. He's been working the higher line, just trying to keep Bailey Turner in check. Now he has a run on Banks that he'll probably have to take to the inside part of the racetrack. We've already seen how stagnant this field might be because those passes on the inside are so tough to make without hitting the driver on your outside or just moving them out of the way intentionally, which we might see later in this one for sure.
Oh, Elliott Butler with a little bit of a slide job there, and that can work well, especially at this place, because you can slide up on the exit of the corner. Really, you want to be on that outside line for this exit. It carries enough momentum, then you can get in front of that driver and hold that outside. Even if they regain down that straightaway, you see Chambliss not able to get back around the 6 of Butler. I think he's going to hold 15. 14th.
That was not an intentional slide job by Butler either. He hit the apron entering turn 3. It's very easy to do if you're trying to wrap the white line to save tires, or just for speed. It's a fast line still. But you could get your left front fender and the tire on the apron. It'll shoot you up the racetrack, and Chandler's just barely had to avoid it. But you're already starting to see some drivers start to go forward, pushing their stuff. Some drivers starting to inch towards the top of the racetrack to defend, as we see it so many times when Adam Cabot and Jeff Wright are battling for the lead. They're kind of chasing each other all around the racetrack as Wright's got to that second spot, and immediately Adam Cabot jumped up to that third lane to make sure Wright didn't have the clean air.
So cleared for second, the 48 car. Another one of those drivers that, you know, we thought we would be talking about him as maybe a hopeful for the championship, but between the connection issues and then there was a handful of races, you know, we're talking about 6 wins on the season, Connor. If he gets rid of those DNFs, he's the points leader going into the chase and most likely salvage the season. But it's just been bad luck after bad luck for the 48 team. And he's got to perform perfect for these next 4 weeks.
He's definitely going to have to win some races still, for sure. The win's so important. You get 13 more points in second place for a win. So the wins for these chase drivers are what matters. That's why Elliott Butler's win was so crucial towards his title fight. I mean, really a win for anyone in that top 8 is, you know, changing. Really the top 10, all the way back to Jared Shepard, who's tied for 9th in points, which he is, I believe, here tonight. He's back in 7th. Aronis is not who he was tied with, from what I could see, but anyone from all the way from the points leader back to J.R. Shepard, a win could really change their title hopes.
The 10th place here on the season, J.R. Shepard, another one of those drivers that came close to a victory several different times this season. A couple get away because of late race cautions or circumstances of strategy. And, you know, we questioned it. The race that stands out to me that I think he should have won, he ends up pitting with the leaders instead of staying out. He was on a different strategy. And had he committed to that, Connor, I think we would have been talking about him as another winner this season.
I mean, certainly, I think would have been the case. I'm just not sure Banks would have caught him at Atlanta, the old version of Atlanta, because we've gone to both this year. But yeah, it definitely could have been a win of his. It's in the past now, and I doubt he's even thinking about it at this point. A disappointing start to his chase. Did not get a good finish at Talladega, which mostly went green. A lot of drivers in a chase did not get great finishes for the most part. Hronis, who's not here, finished way at the back, I believe, at about 12th position or somewhere around there. But Jeff Wright didn't get the best of finishes. J.R. Shepard was, I believe, a lap down, if not tail end of a lead lap. Obviously, Talladega, you know, it can be random like that, and a lot of drivers unfortunately got bit. So we'll see. This is a more straightforward race, even though with how high the tire wear is. I don't know if that's fully true.
Battle back here for 24th. Roger Baglavic and Ben Lafter were going side by side for a moment. Lafter finally able to clear the 7. Just ahead of that, it was Matt Shinowski and Chris Hodges within a tenth of each other for a moment. 31 and 15. Hodges, another one of those drivers we talk about. He has glimpses of greatness. It's just that late race pace seems to fade away. He'll have great qualifying here today, not as well. Started 17th, and he's lost 6 positions, back in 23rd now.
He got one top 5 all season, 17th in the points. Actually gained some spots after last week. Good run. Had a decent run going at Richmond a number of weeks ago at this point. Just trying to save tire. I mean, we know it's going to be a long run race. Could be saving tire, could just be struggling. We'll probably get our answer on that in about 10 to 15 laps, because this is when who saved tires, who didn't. That's when it's going to really come into effect this year. I saw some contact made for the 4th spot. Matt Shinowski, Hodges, they're still going to battle for about that 22nd to 23rd spot. But I'm kind of surprised. The field is spread out, but it's also not spread out. I mean, you got most of the field already, still the entire field packed up 8.5 seconds from first to last, but there's really no battles on the racetrack. There's a couple here and there, but not too many battles going on. A lot of single file action, even though it hasn't spread out too much.
We go to 16th position to find a pass for Chad Klinger. Just got around Casey Lakatos. Klinger on the move, up 5 positions. Driver that had bad luck in the later half of the regular season ends up not making the chase, and Klinger, I believe, has made every chase except this one.
Was not relatively close either. has 1 podium, top 3 on the year, 2 top 5s, 5 top 10s, but the finishes were just not consistent enough at all for Klinger. A lot of drama, a lot of issues, a lot of poor runs, poor finishes. Not in the winner's circle this season either, has won a race almost every season, if not every season, but has not had that go his way so far this year.
Season finale there, I believe, 2 years ago at Phoenix.
Pocono last season.
Yep. So, just in good fashion, he can start. We know he can race. It's the same thing that I think AJ Servato is kind of stuck in. It's just that slump, and you start to lose confidence. But once you start winning, you know how it is, Connor. Once you start winning, you saw the 33 almost break it off for 4 in a row. I mean, 3 races out of 4. That's incredible.
We about got put in the wall there. Him and Philip Brewer have been going at it. Brewer is pushing a lot harder than the 33, I think, right now, and Stravato's doing everything he can to keep the 44 behind him, keep cleaner air on his nose. 44 keeps getting this run off the top, trying to get to the bottom, trying to drive hard in the 1. The pass, and he just can't do it. Even when you do get the run, even when you do get the momentum, it's still hard to complete that pass. He'll stay in line this time.
Lift off the throttle there to stay behind the 33. You can see his highlight. Jeff Wright's doing it as well, trying to catch up to the 17. These cars off the throttle for a long time. We'll watch it again here on the telemetry. I mean, these things are rolling through the center, probably 40, 50 feet longer than they usually do because of this track temperature.
That was about 5.5, 6 seconds that they were off the throttle, at least how long Philip Brewer was waiting to get back on the throttle. And, you know, I think, you know, maybe it's not as bad as it might be for the 33 around the bottom of the racetrack who's having to pedal it maybe a little bit more. Brewer keeps trying this. It's just not working. And why it's not working is because he's got Bailey Turner running the bottom in front of Stravato. Every time he gets the bottom with a decent run, the 24 is just packing all that air on his nose and making him really push loose off the corner where he almost got into the 33 again.
And it's so frustrating as a driver because you know that line is giving you momentum to gain this position. His lap times last time around, we're talking about 3 or 4 hundredths faster than Stravato, and that's been consistent, but he can't do anything with it. Ends up pushing up the racetrack, losing a 10th because of that dirty air.
If only he could get that wall to work, really use that wall arrow. There's some, you know, Stravato's going to slide up right in front of him. If only he could use that shade right against the outside wall to clear right sides off, really make that wall work. Something could be there, but he keeps trying this. Stravato just follows him into the corner every time because he knows Philip Brewer is overdriving the corner to try to clear him, but that time Stravato just could not keep him behind him.
So a change for the 4th position. Pass finally completed. Joshua Banks peeks to the inside of J.R. Shepard. Banks down 6 spots. Maybe in a little bit of tire save mode, not sure. The new paint scheme here, all gray in the Matco Tools 35.
Yeah, Banks has been committed to the bottom of the racetrack, and Shepard was just faster than him the previous runs. I hope it's saving, because if he's saving his tires and he's going to continue to fade, it's not great. He's given up a decent amount of time, and the track position, even more important. Dirty air, hard to fight through. At this track, it's still difficult, even with the multi-grooved aspect. We've seen that top line work pretty well so far. You can't lose too much track position when saving your tires. That's what he's in danger of doing right now. Doesn't seem really happy either.
He is not. He is struggling with the handling of this car. Floyd got to his outside out of 4. So he's starting to lose ground to J.R. Shepard in another position down. 7 lost from the pole back to 8th.
Dakota Floyd's going to get another spot, just got 3rd from Bailey Turner. That fall off that we've been talking about, it was already up to 2 seconds and 20 laps. And these guys, if they're going to 2-stop it, they probably got to get to about lap 45, lap 50, something like that. Turner's going to try to cross him over into turn number 1. But you probably still got to go another 20 to 30 laps on this set to 2-stop. We might see drivers 3-stop with how big the wear is. And Turner's able to get a good run through the center to get back by that 44. So this is when you're going to have to commit to what strategy you want to do. The extra stop or not, as Brewer and Turner bumper to bumper for the 3rd spot, all 3 cars in it. You're going to have to make a decision on your strategy soon. If you want to 3-stop this, you probably got to pit around lap 35.
And just in 26 laps, based off of their fastest to current lap times, it's 2 seconds of fall off here, Connor. I think it's plateaued as we had a little contact there between the 44 and 24. Starting to get a little physical for the third position.
I think Brewer just, didn't hit him square, and we see that could go wrong as Shibado slapped the wall, got a little bit of dirty air. You're probably not going to hurt the car doing that, but it's so easy to get lost because everyone's against the outside wall and the exit of the corners, so you try to peek for some air, and sometimes the wall's going to be there. There's not much you can do about it. Not sure who's fastest out of these top 5, but we know these 5 are the best right now. They pulled away from the rest of the battle, 6th on back. It was a battle Chuck Sweeting, Brian Chambliss going at it. That's for the 16th position as Kenny Kibbe got by both of them. Sweeting got by Chambliss.
Well, the drivers in this top 10, the fastest car last time by was Ray Massey at 36.459. Actually, Seth Hatchell just behind that with a 36.414. So these cars starting to pick up the pace. I think we're on the other half of seeing who's been saving their stuff for this long run.
And the leader ran a 4.95 last time by. Ray Massey was faster than that, actually. So Seth Hatchell was faster than Ray Massey. So last time by, the Hatchell machine was the fastest car on track. This time by, looks like Joshua Banks. No, it was Ray Massey that time again. So Massey, he's got some pretty decent pace maybe on the long run so far. Got a decent finish last week, ended up 5th, much needed. Just the results have not been there. We talked about it a lot for Ray Massey this season in the starts they've made. Maybe the long run is going to be the key for the 23 tonight, as I think Philip Brewer's finally got that pass for 3rd done. There is a mess back there for about 17th position. Brian Chambliss trying to hold off 4 or 5 cars.
Ray Shoemaker, Chuck Sweeting, all behind Chambliss. You have Laconis, Davis. 17th back to 20th within a half a second.
Most of these guys have been pretty low on the track besides Chambliss. And I don't even think Chambliss has really ventured too high up the racetrack. At this point in the run, everyone's searching for something. You see guys near the white line on the blue wall. Some guys have been running that middle seam, getting the left sides on that seam, not coming into the middle of the racetrack, using that for some grip possibly. But you're really seeing a lot of lanes being used right now.
Looking off the back end of Bryce Shoemaker, the 54. 6 spots to gain to get to this position. Solid day so far for this driver. And clears that group of cars. It's still a Hornet's Nest back here. Stephen Davis will look for the inside. Chuck Sweeting a little off the pace here. The 75. Again, there's conservation and then there's losing ground. You can save the tires, but when you drop 9, 10, 11 positions, it's almost impossible to gain that back, because we watched Stephen Davis almost clear the wall.
That was my worry with the 35. You can give up some track position for tire life, but you can't give up too much, because those passes that you need to make later in the run are just going to hurt you a lot more than what you would have done by saving a little less and just keeping a track position. It's a tough balance, because you know who's going to give you the spot back. You know who's not. You kind of have to know who you're racing, and obviously league racing is a lot easier to do that than it is in official racing, but you know who's going to give you the ground after you let them by in the short run. Some drivers do, some drivers don't. Joshua Banks knows that very well himself, and you got to wonder if he is on this right strategy, saving his tires. I mean, we're not too far away from pit stops for the drivers saving their stuff. You would think eventually they got to get going, as Jeff Wright has a big wiggle. As Philip Brewer, once again, great long run pace for that 44 right now.
And remember, just there at the end of the regular season, it was Jeff Wright and Philip Brewer back and forth the entirety of that race. It came down to just these two drivers and really the execution of pit road that put the 48 on top. But Philip Brewer, a respectable opponent in this season 6, definitely has the goods to get a victory here. Watching the 44 go by, Jeff Wright got loose out of turn 2 the last time by. That was a pretty easy pass. Brewer sets his sights on Adam Cabot, 1.3 seconds ahead. He's led every lap so far.
And we saw this with Philip Brewer. Just could not quite complete the pass on Jeff Wright at Chicagoland. And, not shape-wise. Chicagoland and Homestead, not similar shape-wise, but from a surface standpoint, very worn-out tracks, very high tire degradation. They fall off very quickly. And the high line works right now, and it's been working. We thought it might be a problem if you run up there too long He's continued to show pace, still slower than Cabot. Cabot continues to pull away, but he's pulling away from everyone behind him, which is the important part, besides Bailey Turner. Turner might have saved his stuff right. Jeff Wright, not quite the case. He's starting to really show some poor lap times.
Yeah, he's in the 37s with the rest of those top 5, but still running 36, 7, and 8. But I'm telling you, you're seeing this. Seth Hatchell, Ray Massey, it seemed like they were faster, and they've kind of fallen off a little bit. They're starting to balance out. So I think, like you said, Connor, it's a balancing act. It's continuously adapting and knowing, okay, I need to push now. I don't want to give up this position. I don't want to lose this much track position or ground under the contact in the background. Richie and Garrison.
Oh, boy. Yeah, everyone's on edge, so tight quarters racing. You don't really want to be too close to someone off the corner because everyone's battling the cars, wrestling them off the corners. That was maybe a little net code of a Garrison. All 3 of his starts this season, he's finished in the top 15. He has an 8th place, his best finish, I believe, at the new version of Atlanta. So not a bad run so far. He's up in the 11th position. Got by Justin Ritchie. Elliott Butler trying to get by the 55. Hasn't fallen off. Thought the 6 might. He's stayed in the top 15. Kenny Kibbe started a little too far back to really make too much ground up. Remember, he's been another model of consistency along with Hatchell. Just hasn't gotten that victory. Did not have good luck at Dega. Lost a lot of points there after coming into this chase, being the points leader, remember. But a poor Talladega is 64 on pit lane Ben Laughter. So first lead lap car to take a pit stop, but Kibbe did not have a good Dega. He didn't have a good Q. He's trying to make up for it. As I believe Justin Ritchie pit right in front of Kibbe, and Kibbe almost ran him over.
Close call there.
Got to call your pit. It's pretty simple.
So here's the situation now. These drivers pitting around lap 40. This pretty much guarantees that they're going to take that extra stop. We talked 57 laps of fuel. I think they might have to bring it down one more extra time here.
I got to say, I don't know. At this rate, I'm not sure. Adam Cabot's just looking really fast right now, but I'm not sure if the guys who have worn their stuff out are going to make it. I mean, the battle for 3rd is intense right now. Jeff Wright has really slowed up this line to the point where the 17 and the 44 are pulled away. Adam Cabot's still 0.3 faster than Philip Brewer per lap. Absolutely running away 2 seconds clear. But then this battle for 3rd, holding each other up, also 3+ tenths of a second slower, and it's a 5-car battle. 3 wide for the 5th position.
Garrett Shepard stuck in the middle there. Here comes the 35 of Beggs back on offense, trying to get back into the top 5. Again, started on the pole. The 35 fell out. But you're on the other side of this run now. So it's the time to push it, make all that ground back up. Unfortunately, for him, he's got a lot of dirty air. He's not picking them off one at a time. He's running 2 and 3 wide for most of them.
And with all this battling, everyone wearing their tires out, Jeff Wright's going to pit. He might even do a 3-stop strategy. He missed pit lane. He's not going to make it. He just gave up a lot of time. So the 48's going to miss pit lane. He's going to have to go around again.
And it was so tight there with those cars being 3 wide just beside him. Probably didn't have enough time to check up.
We're approaching 3 seconds of fall off. Once I see 3 seconds of fall off, that's when I start to think that extra stop might be worth it. He called pitting, went to the bottom, just missed his braking point seemingly.
Tire's very worn out as well.
Yeah.
Difficult to get it slowed up. You see he's getting a little bit loose, trying to turn it down there, and as soon as he hits that transition.
He just didn't slow. He didn't make his braking point way too late. Just tried to hit the brakes way too late. Thought he could get a lot out of it. Couldn't quite do it. I'm just interested to see where Justin Ritchie and Ben Laughter, where they come out. They're going to be lapping probably 2 seconds faster than the leaders right now. An extra stop might be worth it. We'll have to see if it plays out that way. I don't know if any strategy can beat the 17. He's still 2 to 3 tenths faster than second place right now.
Last time by Justin Ritchie ran a 35.436. His fastest lap of the race.
And Jeff Wright's continued to stay out. He did not come back down to pit. So he's just accepted he's lost that track position. Now he's back in 13th. As Dakota Floyd came down the lap after him. And J.R. Shepard, AJ Travato, they're still going to battle. They probably still don't like each other, but they're going to go to battle.
And I would bet that now with what happened to Jeff Wright missing pit lane, he's going to try to shorten this one stop. I see if this race goes green, he has to do that to make all that ground back up. He fell from the top 5 to 13th position. We're talking about 8.5 seconds lost there.
I was not sure if a one-stop's possible fuel-wise. I'm not. His tires might not make it how much the wear is. Floyd's trying to make up as much ground as possible on those new tires to squeeze his way to the inside of Stradato. But I think if you want to make the tires last 70 laps, you can. I just don't know if the fuel is going to make it. It's just a little blocking going on back there. That's Ben Lapter also trying to get through on new tires.
Yeah, I think the number everyone was giving me was if you wanted to push the car. That was 64 Lapter there on the inside. Trying to unlap himself. But
you can't stop for these guys. You got on new tires. You're doing an extra stop. You got to make time.
Yeah.
Elliott Butler pits. Lap 44. That's kind of on the edge of a 2-stop.
But I think the number here, if you wanted to stretch it out, would be probably lap 60 at the most. I don't really foresee anybody pushing it that far. At that point, you're going to be 3.5, almost 4 seconds slower than the rest of the field that did come in. I don't think that's beneficial to you.
I don't think so either. We're going to see Bailey Turner peel off the pit lane, lap 45. These guys are going to be struggling getting it slowed on the pit lane. I think Caleb Weekly's going to come down the pit. Adam Cabot continues to dominate. Starting to see Joshua Banks gain some time. 36.9s the last couple of times by. He's starting to match Cabot. So tire conservation's worked out for the 35 pretty well. Problem is he's 4 seconds back of the race leader, the guy he's probably going to be on the same strategy as.
And a pass for second as Banks takes it to the inside of 3 and 4. Should clear the 44 Brewer.
33's in.
There's Stravato coming down.
Jeff Wright just hit the outside wall. He is struggling on those old tires, but he's committed at this point. They are 3 wide for the 6th position right now. Gibby, Garrison, Hatchell, Brandon Wallace is in the mix on newer tires. Actually, I don't know if he's on newer tires. Yes, he is. He's just trying to find a clean way through this. Turner's going to get severely held up by the 11 of Garrison. This is chaos. Oh, look. Bailey Turner lost so much time there. That is really going to kill his track position on that strategy. Saw Shepard, Massey, Matt Shanowski. We're still 4 wide, by the way. This is absolutely chaos. Elliott Butler is going to get by the 24 because of all that traffic. Just maybe. He's still going to get out in front of the 33. Couldn't clear the 6 car, though.
And now we're talking about different strategies. Guys that maybe pit 3 or 4 laps later are going to have that 2 or 3 tenth advantage. It's going to take a while for this to plateau. Lap
Kibby's
48.
in. Hatchell's in. And we're still not seeing the fall off really level out. I mean, the leader, actually, Adam Cabot, did come down the pit lane. So just looking at what his fall off was, he was still falling off, you know, kind of a tenth every 5-10 laps. So I'm not sure if it really ever plateaus.
It's going to be that weird balance there on the lap times for the drivers that, you know, have that 2 or 3 tenth advantage. Will they start to wash and plateau with the cars that maybe pitted a little bit earlier? I think it's going to take a few laps, but dirty air, like we've seen time and time again, will burn these tires up faster than anything. And with the traffic, the 64 we watched earlier, Ben Lapter, the 6 of Elliott Butler, like you said, they have no time to waste. They have to make up ground right now in case some of these guys go just a 2-stop race. They got to get as much as they can.
They're certainly having to right now. That's why Bailey Turner being stuck in all that traffic for what felt like half a lap was so crucial. Lost so much time that he could have had. He's only got about a second over to the 33. That could have been probably over 2.5 seconds that he probably lost there. It's Philip Brewer finally going to bring it down pit lane. It was really starting to bleed spots, bleed time, I should say. Chambliss is going to come down. Jeff Wright's still struggling. He's in a 38-second bracket right now, really in trouble. And it's about 4 seconds to fall off. Yeah. I think a tire's going down with how slow he is in the corners.
Last time by a 38.130. That
And
is
he's
a
got
second slower than the guys four in front.
He's got a pit. I mean, that's way too slow.
He's downshifting.
Right, I think he's probably pitting if he's downshifting. Bryce Shoemaker's in, Stephen Davis, 48, way too late, finally comes down. Really gonna hurt his chances in this race, let alone the title fight, if he gets a poor finish. Still waiting for it to cycle out. Chris Hodges, Chad Klinger, all still yet to pit. I don't believe Casey Lakatos has come to pit. He just did, maybe. I don't know, he doesn't. He's got a meatball, actually. So he's actually got a tire down, because no damage on that car visually. That means he's completely worn out one of the tires.
Chuck Sweeting maybe in the same boat.
Be careful going to the outside of him. Lakatos really has to slow the car down, because it's not going to turn, and he does a good job. Having to go down to 114 just to keep it on the bottom. I believe Chuck Sweeting's having the same issue.
Sweeting last time by a 38.3. I would expect him to bring it to pit lane.
He's another one with a meatball, so definitely a flat tire. I think it's technically a positive when it's a right front. I blew a right rear at Bristol on Thursday in a league race. Not fun riding around on a flat right rear at Bristol, I will tell you that. Chad Klinger's going to bring it down. Still waiting on the 15 of Hodges, I believe.
Yep.
Times are not horrible. Not in the 38-second bracket, that's for sure. 75, flat tire brings it down. I guess as it stands, Justin Ritchie right now would cycle out to be the race leader, but him and Dakota Floyd are in a battle for that right now. It's still about 4 seconds to Adam Cabot. He is lapping about a second faster than the both of them.
They need Chris Hodges to bring it in to pit lane. But Hodges, the longest of this run, coming up on lap 55 of the stint. He will have led 4 laps now. But Hodges continuing to put up times that say he's still got a right front on this car. How much longer does it last?
I respect them for trying it. Try something, see if it works. Like I said, I don't think you can get fuel to last 70 laps. That's a chore to do even in a cup car which have bigger fuel tanks. So just trying to catch a yellow. Probably won't catch a yellow, but he will have a tire advantage for this next run for sure. Got 2.5 seconds to Dakota Floyd and Justin Ritchie as well, who have pit.
That's going to be a couple laps before they catch him there. I think they're running about a full second faster than Hodges, almost a second and a half.
Maybe 2 seconds.
They're coming quick.
Cabot might get to the 15 first, though. He is bearing down on those guys and really not pressured from anyone else on his strategy at this point. And here comes Hodges.
So there's the last lap times on the left-hand side of your screen. Adam Cabot, a 35 flat last time around. That puts him about 0.8 faster than Floyd. Ritchie, a full second faster. 17 is going to make the pass here, probably going into 3. He's going to have a big run. There he goes.
And he'll get the 57 in the turn number 1 for sure. Obviously stayed out a lot later, has some fresher tires. He's had clean air for most of this run anyways, has really not been battled. I believe compared to people who pit around him, 24, 33 are probably the next closest. They're only at a coming to a start-finish line about now. So pretty big gap that the 17 has here, about 5 seconds.
It's Joshua Banks, a driver that has the shortest stint of all the drivers that are now in the top 10. Pitted 9 laps ago, running in 7th. This is about where we saw him, where he started to turn the dial the other way. He had fallen back, started to compete with Dakota Floyd, got that position back, and then shot his way back up to the top 5 just before execution of pit stops. And that cycles us through for the entirety of this field. It's Adam Cabot with the lead and approaching that halfway mark. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick commercial break. from Homestead, Miami Speedway, you're watching the Saturday Night Racing League, live on VSPEED.
Real quick, you both stop real quick, double check the steering wheel.
Donnie Kite's gonna get through it all and score his first career win in the Saturday Night Racing League Cup Series. What a finish! Too little, too late from behind, and Sebastian Marin, your first repeat top split winner of the qualifying series.
I knew it was just a matter of time when Hunter Sr. is victorious.
Josh Adams taking the win at Iowa.
Juicy Spider Motorsports takes home the 1-2-3 finish.
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs. From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items. Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
Introducing Tractor USA, the best way to buy and sell premium ag and construction equipment. Tractor USA was designed to be straightforward, simple, and affordable with zero commission and live auctions every week. Tractor USA auctions offer the finest selection of pre-owned tractors, combines, and other ag and construction equipment from across the United States and the world. Simply go to tractorusa.com to get started today.
Walking and rolling costume started when my son Reese was born with cancer.
So when I was 3 years old, I got my first wheelchair.
And he wanted to be Wall-E for Halloween that year. And so I knew you couldn't buy a costume to go on a wheelchair at that time. So I knew I had to build one.
My dad ended up building a Wall-E costume out of a Dell computer box.
When we were all finished, he loved it. We took pictures of it and shared it on social media. So many people started sharing it that we started getting requests from people we didn't know.
In 2015, we decided to build them for other kids because people were asking, hey, can you build them for my kid?
So we started the nonprofit organization, Walking and Rolling Costumes, and we build costumes for kids all over the nation, free of charge to the families.
Welcome back to Homestead, Miami Speedway, where pit stops in green flag conditions since the beginning of this event. Ran 65 laps. It's taken us about an hour to get to this point. But approaching that halfway mark, Adam Cabot has been the dominant car of the day, now coming up to lead his 54th lap. Nobody has been able to touch or have an answer for this 17 car. Dakota Floyd and Justin Ritchie, a little bit of strategy there on the undercut of pit lane. Looks like it's helped them here. They're still maintaining a top three. I mean, this is probably the biggest story we have in this cars that are in the top five. I think it paid off to just undercut a little bit here, Connor.
Yeah, he pit. I think it's more of an undercut with where he pit. I mean, you would think pitting at lap 37 that you would probably do an extra pit stop. You would think he might have 2 stops to go. Not the case yet. So if he can pull off a 2-stop pitting that early, that'll open the eyes of a lot of drivers who might be making their final stop on the next set of pit stops. Probably end up, whoa, there's going to be contact there. Oh, they might be making their next pit stop, their final pit stop. You might want to undercut. It might be the move. There's an undercut from Ritchie and not just an extra pit stop. It's worked pretty well. When he pit from about 11th position, about 12th position actually. So that's where he's comparing himself to, and so far he's well ahead of that by a couple of seconds still. Back to Kenny Kibbe is where that compares to.
Back to 12th position for Kibbe. So watch the 24. Billy Turner look to the inside of the 55. Closest battle on the racetrack is for this 4th position. And then you go back to Philip Brewer. We were just talking about that, Connor, under the break. The 44 stayed out, in our opinions, a little bit too long. He was up there battling for the top 3. Now he's in 11th. And even though he has that 10 or so lap advantage on the tires, he's got all this traffic that's probably going to make that null and void.
Yeah, the undercut has seemingly been the way to go. Dakota Floyd put a lot earlier than a lot of drivers. He's been able to maintain second spot. Leaders are only a few tenths faster than him. Philip Brewer, you know, he does still have speed. He has more tire than everyone else, but he's still running even with Seth Hatchell. Actually, he was slower than Seth Hatchell the previous time by, slower than Massey. So it's almost like he's plateaued with the group around him, which is a problem.
So looking at the highlight reel from the past few weeks, with the exception of Talladega, it's really been the 35 of Banks, the 24 of Turner, the 33 of Stravado. A lot of the names that we're seeing up front right now having success all season long. It's the mistakes that you can't afford in this chase, and the driver that comes to mind right now that's made one tonight is Jeff Wright. He's back in 18th.
He really made 2 mistakes. He, A, missed pit lane, and B, instead of just pitting the next time by, he decided to go another 10 laps, and he was so far off pace, just completely lost the tires. It just completely killed his track position. He's gotten back up to 18th. He's ran a 35.9 last time by, which is comparable to the leaders and drivers around him, but those are drivers who might have even went in pit earlier than him still, so he might just have fresher tires. Not the strategy play he needed for sure.
And some of the cars that played the long game and saving their stuff in that first run, they come out about where they left off after this cycle of pit stops. We're talking about Ray Massey and Seth Hatchell. Now, they did trade positions, Hatchell and Massey back and forth for this 9th, 10th spot. But as this run progresses, you get closer to that 30 lap mark. That's when the 23 and 8 really came to life and started to pick up the pace.
Yeah, they eventually plateaued at some point as well. Thought they might have a chance to maybe get in the top 5 before the pit stops happened. Wasn't really the case before drivers started pitting, but pace is still looking pretty even with the drivers in front. I would say the times have actually evened out a lot more than they did the previous run. Tracks cooled off just a little bit to 124 degrees. You see shade on the racetrack. The sun is not beating down on this track, so it's going to continue to cool off a little bit, just 1 degree down as we speak. And I think that's going to make the fall off plateau a little bit more, so you won't just have continuous fall off like we really saw in that first run. It'll hit a point where it really just won't fall off, and I think that's why guys like Dakota Floyd and Justin Ritchie kind of hit a jackpot there, because it has not started to fall off more. They've been able to maintain good track position, especially Dakota Floyd. I mean, he's still in second.
Yeah, last time by, Floyd, I mean, he's 3/10 slower than Stravado, but that's in the grand scheme of things. They've got a 7-lap difference in tires.
He pit from the 7th position.
Yeah, so this is a big benefit here for Floyd, and he needs it. We're talking to him pre-race. Him and Justin Ritchie said they were going to try something different than everybody else, whatever the leaders did. We have a little bit of contact.
Well, Ritchie's tried the Kyle Larson around the outside. He kind of rode the wall in the turn 1. Everyone's trying to enter turn 1 right against the wall to get some good speed center exit. He got a little bit too much there. See, right here's might even gotten lost behind J.R. Shepard. I don't know. He just never really turned for the corner. That can happen so easily here, especially. And the good news is that he likely didn't get damage from that, because he didn't rode the wall.
He's still got his hands full though.
We're talking about he pit from 12th compared to Kenny Kibbe. Well, he has the entire rest of the drivers around him behind him now. Massey's next in line to get by him, and he's got about 4 more.
And most likely will fall back to that 12th position. Just maintaining that. Boyd, of course, doing it a little bit better, these two pitting together. 37 laps on the stint. Elliott Butler. Definitely tight there off the corner. The 8 car of Hatchell.
Oh, Hatchell had the lift. Had no room for 3 wide there. Butler's still giving him room like they are 3.
They're still peeking about it. I thought Hatchell was going to push the issue. He will this time in the entry of 1.
Kibbe might get them both. Clear up. He's got them. Big power move for Kibbe to get both those positions. Butler's going to try to cross him over.
Hatchell cutting a lot of brakes, being very patient here.
It's been a story of a season. Very courteous driver, always has been. He's had a lot of situations in the past month where he could have wrecked but had to back out of it and did the right thing. It's cost him a few spots this time to Kibbe and Butler. Kibbe's going to get both those spots up to 9th. Strato has gotten by Dakota Floyd for 2nd. Still 6.5 seconds behind Adam Cabot.
Again, talking about the execution here with Philip Brewer. He's stuck behind all of this, and he wants a shot back at that top 5 as he almost makes, I think he did make a little contact with the 6 of Butler.
He did tap him just a little bit in the left rear, and then the 8 and the 6 almost made contact, but no damage done. But, 55 really pounded the wall that time. That might have done damage.
Yeah,
but
I think that one gave him a little bit.
Yeah, Brewer has not been able to use these tires to his advantage, and he's essentially lost 10 spots of track position.
Yeah.
And really everyone who went long, that's been the case. I mean, everyone who went too long has paid the price. It was not the move.
I mean, who could have predicted, though, Connor? We watched the track temperature come down, and these tires kind of fall off plateaus. And that's just the gamble you take here with strategy. That's been every race this season. As we see Richie wall riding again that time. It was a Darlington stripe.
Yeah, that was definitely a Darlington stripe, and that lost him momentum off the corner, which was going to hurt him, but it hurt Elliott Butler because Butler actually is going to end up maybe losing that spot to Hatchell. Kibbe's gotten by Richie. He's up to the 8th position. Richie's done a good job just maintaining this high line. He's making it so hard for those guys to complete that pass on the inside. So if he could just not hit the outside wall or even just bounce off it sometimes works. But just maintain that outside line. They can't get their outside. They have to make that pass around the bottom of the racetrack. And it's so hard to keep your foot in the throttle to get that exit off the corner, to keep that driver to the outside, to side draft the back. Then you can send it into the next set of corners, maybe. But Hatchell's just able to get the run center exit and make that pass. But it's so difficult to do that.
We're past the halfway mark. Approaching green flag pit stops for the 2nd time today. The perfect opportunity to find those volume knobs, turn up those hearing aids, and let's get loud. Presented by FireStorm Racing. Loud, presented by FireStorm Racing. Adam Cabot continues to lead. The lead now stretched out to almost a full 6 seconds over AJ Stravano, Joshua Banks, the top 3 drivers. Stravano has had a solid day, but chasing down that 17, it's going to be quite an accomplishment. It's going to take some strategy. I don't think anybody's got anything for him just yet.
He's going to have to just, go way long or pit very early, but the pace has been there. It was about 6.5 seconds. He's cut a second out of it. He's been a tenth or two faster per lap than the 17. The problem was he just didn't get clean air in the first run, lost a lot of time that first run, and then he had to deal with Bailey Turner earlier in the run, past a few other guys. That's been an issue for him, and he is still only 5.3 seconds back and faster than Cabot, but just a lot of time to make up.
Also, the situation for Joshua Banks, we talked about that balance. Let's save tires, maybe lose a little ground early in the run. Banks now in recovery from all of that, maybe oversaved a little bit. Also, you get caught up in traffic. We saw it there with Turner. We've seen it with Philip Brewer. A few of these guys that have had to work with guys that weren't originally up here in this top 5, and now you lose all that time. It's translated to 7.1 seconds that Banks has to get back to where he started this race. Bailey Turner in the top 5 to kind of avoid the net positive behind Turner, but Turner's been solid these last few laps. He's starting to pick up the pace, and everybody is running a little bit faster than Adam Cabot.
It's almost like Cabot lost track of what he needed to do to run decent laps. He's been out there all on his own this entire run. He didn't have anyone to really compare to. He had the 48 to compare to, and he knew how hard he had to push, or how hard not to push, really. And he was able to pull away from everyone else who started battling. I think that was a key part as well. Everyone battled for second really hard behind him to the point where he could just keep his stuff in clean air and pull away. Not really the case. Everyone's second on fifth. There have been some battles here and there, but for the most part, they haven't been around each other. I think maybe that's hurt Cabot. Just maybe not as good at saving the tires as we thought he was. Just had clean air and didn't have to battle anyone really for the first part of that race. I think that was a key part of him getting that lead. It still might win him the race, but the pace isn't there right now. Stravato's faster for sure. Banks is also faster at this point. Bailey Turner not so much. Really, those top 3 are the ones to look at right now.
J.R. Shepard just made the pass. We mentioned Dakota Floyd. Still a net positive for him compared to where he started and ran the first stint of this race. Shepard has been pretty stagnant here in the top 5. I'll have to wait and see if he has anything in this late run. Ray Massey, Kenny Kibbe, this is about the lap that the cars came to life. Last time by, they were faster than everybody ahead of them.
Did have some pit stops. Saw the 6 of Elliott Butler come down. Also saw the 44 Philip Brewer come down. So that really ended up being a short stint for the 44 on that set of tires. It's going to be over 50 laps on this set of tires for the 44 and the 6 as well.
It works so well for the 57 and 55 for the most part. Why not try it? See if it works. But I'm kind of with you on this, Connor. I would make it my last stop. If I was going to do it, I would make it the last one.
It certainly will be, I think, for all these drivers. I don't think even the 55 is going to end up 3-stopping like we initially thought, because he's still on the racetrack.
Massey organically to the 6th spot, has the speed to catch up. And once he gets into clean air, we saw his lap times. He's running quicker than Turner and Shepard. So I'm interested to see with the clean lap now, no dirty air, if he can get up there and catch up to the 98.
Everything's pretty much evened out this run. In the top 5, fastest driver in the top 5, I believe, last time by was J.R. Shepard, actually, in 5th, as Bryce Shoemaker pits, Justin Ritchie pits, Chuck Sweeting's on pit lane as well. Might be out of his car. Might be calling it a night.
Oh, Ritchie's down pit road.
Banks is down pit road, so a lot of drivers. Bailey Turner flew in the pit lane, so here comes the pit stops from most of the front runners. 35, 24, 57, as well as the 8 of Seth Hatchell. No speeding penalties, but 24 cut it close. That'll probably make Cabot think.
For the lead over 5 seconds there at one point, it's dwindled down to 4.5. Gonna wonder if Cabot maybe into conservation mode a little bit here.
You can afford to give those. You can afford to give those guys who just pit Turner and Banks maybe 2 laps on fresh tires. So you're either going to do that, then come down and stay ahead of them best you can, or you're going to go longer, take even fresher tires, and then just make it a non-competition. Massey's going to come down, 57's off in a way off of pit lane. See if either of those top two respond. No, 17's going to stay on the racetrack. 33's pretty low. He's going to bring it down.
So Stravato does respond for those drivers in the top 5 with the 24 of Turner, the 35 of Banks.
Remember that? He's up third. Remember all that craziness we saw on differing strategies, we saw 4 wide because of it. Don't be surprised if you see that again this time. It might be even more aggressive.
The interval now with the 33 of Stravato down pit road. Here comes Cabot to respond.
Yeah, like I said, he gave him really only 2 to 3 laps, didn't give him any more than that, and he didn't give Stravato more than 2 laps, because I think if he gave Stravato 2 laps, he might have gotten the lead away. Felt the need to respond. Overcut has not worked so far today. Ray Massey comes down.
Black flag for speeding last time on the exit of pit road. And he was having such a good day. Ray Massey was looking for a top 5. This black flag has to be served under green. It's a hold penalty.
I was running 7th. Jeff Wright's down the pit. That is such a shame. He was having a really good run. Cabot's out in the way. We'll see where he comes out compared to some of those drivers. Looks like Banks is in the turn 1. Shepard's going to bring it down the pit. Here comes Kenny Kibbe, and Cabot is looking like he's going to keep the position over the 35. A lot more drivers back. Lavic's back there. Shinovsky, I believe Derek Garrison pit.
Evan Davis and Brian Chambliss continue to stay out on the racetrack. Chad Klinger, another one of those cars. Christopher Hodges went the longest on the last stint. Took it to lap 58 on the run. Continuing the trend. And a caution, we're to fall right now. These guys look like geniuses. They'll put a lot of these cars a lap down.
It's just all about if it falls or not. We've seen it fall at least 2 or 3 times this season. Not probable, but not improbable, I guess. It's one way to put it.
Seems like when we do get those yellows, it always seems to happen under green flag pit stops.
And everyone goes
right
crazy.
After the cycle. Right after the cycle where guys are on different pace, and you can see right here, closing rate, the 17 to the 50. Cabot made up almost a full second and a half in just that corner.
The one thing about the differing speeds here in Miami, you have 4 other lanes to choose from, thankfully. That's the positive. But we still saw 4 wide. We've had to use all of them tonight. Elliott Butler, AJ Stravato, that's a battle for position, albeit differing strategies. It's not going to be too much of a battle. Same thing with the 24 and the 6. Butler tried to shut the door, didn't have the tire to do it.
Couple terrifying moments here with the connection, but things iron themselves out. Overhauled the entire stream, Connor. I went through everything I could think of to try to kind of remedy this whole situation. We've been having this for a while where it's just a clean crash to desktop. And I don't know about you, but I paid a lot of money for this computer. I'd expect it to run pretty smoothly. Only iRacing has this issue for me, so whatever the case is, hopefully we've resolved it. I didn't have any problems at Talladega. I haven't had a clean crash in a while, so hopefully we're good to the end of the season. If you see those blinks every now and then, it's most likely on my side of things. Chambliss still out on the racetrack. There's Stephen Davis, who just came down pit road. Joshua Banks nearby Christopher Hodges. So Hodges staying out this long, it's actually ended up hurting him. And so he's not going to get to lead any laps this time around.
Probably to come down the next 5 laps or so. Can't really go much longer. He's going to still stay out this time. Not going to pit from the top line. At least I hope not. Gems is going to come down, bring it to pit lane from the race lead. That should hand the lead back over to, well, it hands the lead over to Chad Klinger for just a moment. 2 seconds a lap slower than the 17, but Klinger will get a lap lead. No bonus point, but pride point there as 17 officially back in the race lead and 2.2 seconds over Joshua Banks, who's about a 10th a lap faster than. And Banks probably have to stay within a 2.5 second range to have that long run pace play off, that long run pace payoff to try to maybe catch him back, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do it.
The race lead, 2.3 seconds. This is kind of the shortest we've seen it all day, but again, Cabot stayed out a little bit longer this time around. So for Stravano and Turner, pit stops, Cabot could just respond to it. Didn't have to push the issue, let those guys blink first, and that's the advantage of having such a major lead. It's also the benefactor of this race staying green. Race recap on the top. It's been 10 lead changes, all of those happening during green flag pit stops. But Adam Cabot has found his way back to the top spot every single time.
Yeah, that's the thing. Another case where the pole sitter, I don't think has led a lap. I don't believe Joshua Banks has led a lap today.
No,
he did get one, but
one.
It was not, to my knowledge, the first. It might have been the first lap of the race. Otherwise, it's been all Cabot for sure. I mean, he's able to pull away on that first run, and all those drivers battling for second and third on that first run of the race on war tires, going 3-4 tenths a second slower than the 17. It let Cabot pull that huge gap on the second run of the race, and it might end up being the difference as Ben Lafter brought it back down to pit lane.
Boy going by for 7th position. Hodges continues to stay out. It's the 23 of Ray Massey now 2 laps down. Chuck Sweeting 4 laps down. Not sure what happened to the 75. I know he had a flat tire earlier in this race, but he has been off the pace. Tough day for the 75 team. Keith Shoemaker a lap down. You got Ben Lafter, Casey McConis, Austin Belkey, and Brian Chambliss. Brandon Wallace, the last car on the lead lap and bringing it down pit road now. Sideways.
Ooh. A little bit of a rear brake in that car. Seems like it hasn't been too, I mean, we've seen right fronts blow out for sure, but I mean, we've seen drivers sliding out the corner all day as well, so it could be a worse setup, I'm sure, but not surprised to see a lot of drivers have a lot of rear braking at a track like this that will chew the right front out up if you're not careful.
Here with Jared Shepard into the top 10 now for the 98. Goes by the 44 of Philip Brewer. Has his sights set for 8th spot. Again, Chris Hodges, 47 laps on this stint. From Hodges, I'm probably going to bring it down the next lap or so. If I'm Christian Key, I'm probably shouting at my driver, hey, it might be time to just get off this strategy because it's hindering us at this point.
Chuck Sweeting's taking the road course in turns 3 and 4. Oh, we have a caution on the track. And was it for Chuck Sweeting? I saw him taking the road course as a joke, and I think that might have triggered the yellow.
Hodges, crew chief here, Christian Key, very happy about that. Saw him clapping there for a minute. So this has worked out for the 15. We need to figure out what happened. Chuck Sweeting kicked out of the session here.
I didn't see any other on-track issue. I think he had taken a lot of time on pit road and was just kind of done with the race, I think. And I think he was just trying to take the road course as a joke, and I think it might have triggered the yellow because nothing else happened on track. I think it's right either here or there where he'll turn it, and I guess maybe iRacing saw that as a sideways car, and it might have triggered the yellow, which is unfortunate. I'm trying to find anything else that could have brought out the yellow. Unfortunately, I think that was it.
That changes everything. And again, this untimely cautions, this sets us up for about a 30-lap shootout. Adam Cabot's massive lead, gone.
Yeah, as the only person who didn't want to see a yellow, probably, I can imagine. That is going to work very well for, I believe, Austin Belke, who's going to get the lucky dog, so he'll be on the lead lap. A lot of drivers are going to have to take the wave around. Banks is going to get off pit lane first after all that.
Joshua Banks 0.3 faster in the box and take over the top position. And looking pretty thrilled about it.
Cabot is, I assure you, the exact opposite. I don't know. I just got into his box better, I guess. And just had a better pit stop. Sometimes that's what it comes down to. But, you know, we saw him lose the lead on the initial start. He could lose it here. We'll have to wait and see. But it will be in the restart zone, so it'll be a lot harder to lose the lead this time.
Right here, this is the execution into the box.
Faster for sure. And just, I saw his right sides went up after for sure. And then, yeah,
I mean it's so close.
I think it was all on entry into the box, I think. And just the #1 stall as well. We can't not talk about that. The #1 stall is so huge for caution, for stops under yellow. And this has completely changed the race for so many drivers who kind of scam good track position here. This has put Chad Klinger into the 5th position all of a sudden. Dakota Floyd 6th. It has not worked out for guys like Philip Brewer, who is now in 9th. Great for Christopher Hodges, who's in about 11th. And how about Jeff Wright now in 12th? This is exactly what he needs to be end a short run race.
Yep. Puts him right back into the situation, at least for a salvage of the day. Not necessarily going to get the win, but could definitely get up there and get a top 5 in a day that he was probably going to finish outside the top 15. But this is going to be really good for Joshua Banks. Watched him kind of struggle there at the first stint of the race, maybe oversaved. Now beats Adam Cabot off of pit road.
The race is going to be for track position on this restart for sure. They're not going to be saving on this restart. They are going to be all over each other.
First restart of the day. Banks, Cabot, side by side. Green flag is out. We're back underway. Great restart here for the 35. He jumps out. Clear of the 17.
Cabot did not go. I think Turner could have jumped to the outside, chose to push the 17 back to 2nd. And he might get rewarded with getting that 3rd spot from the 33. Serrato slid up, and he's going to lose that spot.
And it's 3 wide here for the 10th spot. Jeff Wright looks to the inside of Seth Hatchell. J.R. Shepard on the outside.
The big restart for Wright to try to get some of these points back, try to get some spots here. You still got to make these tires last. It's over a 30-lap run to the end. Kibbe 3 wide, big move. You still have to make the tires last a little bit long. It's not a short run race, really. Kind of lied when I said that. You still have a long ways to go.
And the fall off is going to be right around that 20-lap mark where you get to that 2 seconds of lost time. Even with the track temperature coming down a little bit, it's still pretty quick. 34.1, fastest lap times we've seen all day. Joshua Banks putting it out there.
About a 33.9, definitely the fastest lap of the race, for sure. And one thing that's important with over 30 laps left, well now 30 to go in this race, everyone should be down to only 1 set of tires left, so that could come into play as well if we get a yellow in the next 10 laps. Actually, no, 5. We have 6 tire sets, so everyone should have 2 sets left, excuse me.
Alrighty, starting to see the top 5 spread out. Single file. Still side by side for 9th spot. To Jeff Wright, Seth Hatchell, Philip Brewer.
Cabot just hasn't been able to put any pressure on Banks since the restart. Everyone running their different lines. Drivers who like the top on the top. Drivers who like the bottom on the bottom. And then he's got some drivers not getting their preferred lines, making contact. I believe Wright and Brewer just had some contact there. 48 might have gotten the wall a little bit.
Jeff Wright's got to drive it hard, though. I mean, this is his opportunity. Contact with the wall. 44 Brewer into the 8 of Hatchell.
Before I think got lost, he hit the outside wall. Then, thankfully, not too big a contact with the 8. Saw the 60 slide out of 4, but he kept it straight. As Cabot's winding up that 3rd lane, trying to get that run to get to the back bumper of Joshua Banks. It's as close as he's been.
Battle for the lead. Within a
35 tried to shut the bottom off, but couldn't quite do it, and now he's got arrow loose because the 17's on him. Here's the move for the lead right here.
Cabot peeks inside, a pinch down on the entry at 2. So up to 35, can he keep him at bay? Cabot's gonna get a little bit loose, has to slide up the racetrack. Banks gonna hold on to the top spot for now.
But that's what Cabot had to do to try to get the move done on the inside. Lose them up off the corner, get the run into turn 1, and maybe try to overdrive the entry to the corner, but he just could not overdrive it, or else he would have slammed the 35. And he's already shown one hand to the 35. He's going to have to try something different to get that pass done. Might have to get physical, but can't imagine he wants to do that. He's not in the chase, not fighting for a title. 35, 24, 33, even the 6. Everyone around him is. Don't really want to wreck someone who's racing for a championship when you're not, but you know he's going to try to win this race as there's contact for the 8th position. Klinger and Shepard might have made a little contact. There goes Brewer to the inside looking for that spot. Jeff Wright, what a charge this is. He's looking for the 6th position.
Full recovery now for Jeff Wright. Back to about where he was after that mistake. He had burned the tires off the car and continued to plummet after missing pit road. This caution falls right into his lap. Chad Klinger.
35 gave the outside to Cabot 1 and 2. 17 might have a big run off the corner here, but I don't think it's going to be enough, actually. He just didn't get the run. Big move from Jeff Wright. He's going to look for that 6th spot. Cabot's going to go to the bottom.
Another stab at the lead. And another pinch here from the 35.
Ooh, can only get away with so much of doing that before it gets ugly.
Wright makes the pass on Floyd, side by side. Hatchell looking back for 10th. Klinger.
It's just so funny.
Hodges, man, these guys are driving hard.
It's just so funny. You'll see down the back straightaway, for the most part, you're going to see everything single file out besides 1 or 2 battles. And then when you get to the corners, you're going to see 5 or 6 lanes being used. It's crazy. Actually had no guys against the wall that time by.
Well, let's take a look here into 1. See if we see it this time around.
Top usually works a lot better at this end of the track than it does at the other end. Something about the radius of both corners. You're going to see some more guys creep up there. 98's in the middle. The 8's really trying to push it up the track. 55 as well.
Stephen Davis, Caleb Weakley battling for 19th position as it settles down a little bit there in the top 10. And Kimmy just outside of it. Closest battle for this top 10 and 14. Car on the wall, that's Hodges. Hatchell sideways. They save
big
it.
Damage. I think Hatchell tried to get to the inside of the 15 and just misjudged it. Definitely put the 15 in the wall. Rare mistake from that 8 car.
Had a big run here.
Yeah, just tried to pull inside, didn't do it. 44 outrode the wall. Tried to enter on the wall in the 3. Hodges not going to be happy about that. That right front damage is really going to hurt him these last 20 laps.
So looking at the lap times here, Joshua Banks 0.2 faster than Adam Cabot.
Clean air. How
Jeff Wright,
is
fastest car on the track next to J.R. Shepard.
How long does that last? We talked about his long run pace wasn't there. He didn't really show it on the other runs either, just had fresher tires. Can he maintain this for another 20 laps? And this is worst case scenario for those guys third through 5th. All those chase guys who are behind Adam Cabot in that 2nd position right now. Everyone was probably fine with Cabot dominating and winning because it meant a chase driver didn't gain so much. Not the case now. Banks is about probably getting ready to take the points lead if he can hold on to win this race. And all those guys behind Cabot just can't do anything about it because Cabot's able to maintain the 2nd spot, but maybe not for long. He is really struggling. Here comes Bailey Turner.
Banks was 12 points out, but wins so important here in this chase format. Cabot side by side with the 24. Bailey Turner trying to mitigate the damage here. If he has that gap between him and Banks, that's even more position or points lost. 24's got to get around Cabot here.
Cabot just not getting off the corners with any sort of speed, really struggling to get the throttle down, and that's where he's been losing time to the 24. But Turner, it's so hard to complete that pass on the bottom, just can't quite do it. Tried to side draft him back and couldn't. So open a door for the 33 to try to pass them both. Look at Cabot, he drove it all with everything he had in the turn 3 to keep the 24 behind him, but once again, he's going to give it all up on exit. This is exactly what Banks wants to see.
These guys fighting amongst themselves for the second spot. That's what happened when Cabot took the lead and pulled away from the rest of the field. These guys fought for second for 10+ laps, and it just strung out 2 seconds, 3 seconds, turned into almost 7 seconds at one point. We're riding on board there with a 33 of Stravado. He's trying to figure out a way around the 24. No answer yet.
What can you do about it? I mean, you're trying to catch that 35. Everyone wants to be second, be the next in line to catch them, but everyone's pretty even on pace in this top 4. So whoever has the clean air is going to have such a huge advantage. And those guys who are even on pace, all in dirty air, second through fourth, they're all just going to be on top of each other as Turner got to be inside of Cabot out of turn 2. This battle's crazy, but this battle for second's key.
Still not able to do it. They're going to make door contact.
Cabot's going to try to wind up this outside. I think if Turner's going to make the pass, it's here. Yeah, Cabot's in the wall.
And he ends up losing 2 spots with that wall touch. Stravado able to get around. And we'll go back to the chaos. 16th, 17th position.
Well, Cabot doesn't rewatch the replay of this stream. He's not going to like what the yellow was for, as this race is slipping away. But this battle for Christopher Hodges, that damage that the 8 of Hatchell gave him has really hurt him. But it's also hurt Hatchell because he really has stayed behind the 15. He's fallen back to 17th through all this.
Hodges stayed in 14th. Hatchell continuing to lose ground. Tail end of this top 10 with Justin Ritchie, Kenny Kimmy, Philip Brewer. Lead almost in a full second now for Banks.
And 24 got to that second position, and he did gain a close to a 10th last time by. And he's got 15 laps to do it if he can get there. And the 17 continues to bleed time. Here comes Elliott Butler. He's looking for an extra point, looking for that 4th spot. Oh my goodness. Cabot's got so much rear brake cranked in that thing. He just drove it in and slammed the brakes, and it just shot up the racetrack. He has completely lost the handle of that car. Shepard's going to try to get 6th from the 48 of Jeff Wright, but Wright put the crossover on him.
Compared to where Jeff Wright was earlier in this race, though, even if he does lose this spot to Shepard, it's still been a better day than you thought it was going to be. You'll get that spot, another crossover here. Shepard going to peek to the inside. He will take it into 1. That's the debate that you always have. Can I complete this pass? Is it worth it for me to go to the inside? It looks like for Shepard this time it was not. Right, going to get the run off the outside.
Depends. If he had a pack behind him, I think it would be an issue, but not quite the case right now. But already, even on this short of a run, you're seeing the drivers who wore their stuff out really start to fade. And not think it would be the 17, but you know, that pit, the yellow plus losing the lead on pit road, it's played all the difference. And there's still chaos back there in like 18. They have not calmed down at all. Oh, there's some contact. 60 in the 15, 60's into the corner hard. Oh, apron, look out. Stephen Davis is all over the place off the corner the past few laps.
Yeah, right, still trying to figure out a way around Adam Cabot for top 5.
Oh, Cabot's in the wall hard that time.
Hard lick there. I believe that's going to help Jeff Wright clear him here off of 2.
This is wild. I mean, it just, I think this, I don't know, must prove how important clean air is, because this guy had a 7-second lead at one point, and he just has nothing left on this run. He's going to fall outside the top 5.
I've seen clean air be important, but it seems more important at a track like this, where it's been tight, it's been very hot, tire degradation, with all the different names and recoveries, different leaders. Joshua Banks from the pole, it looked like this race was going to be another one of those follow the leader moments, but 10 to go. He's got it by 1 full second.
And I hear about in these cars all the time how, you know, in the next gen it's kind of random, and O'Reilly cars sometimes, or a lot of the time, almost all the time, you want to underfuel this thing. The only thing I could think of for him to be this low on pace to 17, to be this down on pace, is that maybe he went the wrong way on fuel and it's just not working for him or something. I don't get it.
That could explain why Banks had a 3/10 faster pit stop as well.
I don't know.
That extra little splash in the gallon of gas that Cabot might have taken over Banks.
He went from talking to the 17 guaranteed to he probably won't want to talk to anyone.
Yeah,
back to 8. About to be 9.
After you lead 89 laps, over half this race to the 17, and now just struggling to stay in the top 10. I mean, he has fallen quickly.
This is
complete contrast.
It's unreal, the pace loss that he's had. Meanwhile, at the front, it hasn't changed. Bailey Turner, excuse me, whoa, he's in the wall actually up in front. Stravado's trying to get the right rear. Battle for seconds on. I was about to say that Banks withstood that pressure from Cabot. He's pulled away since, but the battle's now for second, coming to 7 laps to go. I'm just not sure anyone's going to get Banks.
Joshua Banks looking for his 4th win of this 2026 season.
Saw a fake out there. I saw the 33 fake to the bottom. You saw Bailey Turner immediately go to block it. That made Stravado back out of it, try to wind up the top of the racetrack, but it actually worked for the 24. He got a better run through the center anyways. It's the same games you would play in a next gen with dirty air, same games you would play in an Indy car trying to put dirty air on the nose of someone behind you. It's exactly what this battle for second is right now.
Points leader coming into tonight. He was 12 points over the current leader of this race. 4 points over on Bailey Turner, but Elliott Butler, even with this top 5 finish, is going to lose that points lead. If it settles the way it is, here's 3 wide for 5th.
Yeah, Turner currently would, Turner might not even pass Elliott Butler, only 2 spots ahead of him. So really, we're probably still staring at Elliott Butler being second, but huge opportunity for Joshua Banks to try to hold on to this one.
He will become our 8th points lead change of this season. And even with the concentration of just 4 or 5 drivers that have wins, you know, you're talking about Andrew Tellernoff had a hot start to the season, dominate the super speedways, but outside of that, unforeseen circumstances and finishes at 1.5 and road courses that he would like to forget. Of course, not making this later half of the season, calling it quits. He started out hot, then you had the change there amongst Stravado, Turner. I believe we even had Kenny Kibbe in the points lead there at the end of the regular season. Just so many different names.
I believe when we were going through all those names, Banks was not one of them.
No.
As well, so looking to be number 8. But he's still got 3 laps to go. Just got to hope those battles stay clean behind him, because they're all over the racetrack trying to pass one another. Stravado's trying to work over Bailey Turner. Jeff Wright's getting worked over by J.R. Shepard. Now we're 3 wide, almost 3 wide. That was almost a huge moment with the 57 to 98 making contact. Here comes those slide jobs we were finally waiting for. It actually was not a slide job. Shepard held middle. They're all going to get by the 48. Key points Jeff Wright's missing out on here, maybe. Oh, contact! That's
the 48 and the 57. Floyd into the wall. Don't think he picked up any damage from that.
got lucky. That might work for Kibbe. He might get them both. Definitely going to get Jeff right. Tires just did not last enough for the 48. And how about Elliott Butler? He's been playing great defense through all this, has been able to stay fourth, which is huge for his points if he can hold on another 2 laps.
As they continue to fight behind him, I think that likelihood's pretty high. We're coming around for the white flag one more time around. 1.5 miles left. Joshua Banks sees the white flag up in the air coming off of turn 4. Looking for his 4th win of the season. The race is official. Here from
33.
Homestead, chase race number 2.
Stravado's got to run for second. They're going to be side by side. Stravado's probably going to bulldoze the 24 a little here. Tired of the arrow blocking. They're going to be banging doors to the line for sure. Butler stayed 4th. Shepard's gotten the 5th. And Dakota Floyd, Kibbe, and Jeff Wright are going to battle out for 6th. But it's all about a huge moment for Joshua Banks in this picture.
Joshua Banks is coming off of turn 4. We're watching this battle for second. Door bang, 33. Stravado trying to get clear of Bailey Turner. They touch doors again. Stravado gets loose, sideways off the corner. He saves it, but he's going to come home in 3rd, and it's Joshua Banks who finds his way to victory lane in the 2nd race of the chase.
That is a clutch moment. Talk about the playoffs. Everyone talks about the playoffs. That's why you need playoffs for clutch moments. You had one right there at the chase for him, Matt. Those wins matter so much, and Joshua Banks definitely knows he kind of stole one tonight, but in the chase, you don't care if you steal one or not. You just need to get them, and he got one.
Turner and Stravado, the battle there for second. Stravado got loose off of turn 4. They had touched doors the entirety of the final lap.
Yeah, I think if that wasn't that wasn't Bailey Turner battling him, if that wasn't a friend battling him, it would have been a lot more ugly. Stravado cut that 24 a lot of slack. Floyd gets spun on pit lane. I don't think that was anything intentional.
Banksy the iRacer, gonna burn it down on the front stretch. 4th victory of the season, and a new points leader going into Michigan. Don't go anywhere. Post-race interviews with your top 3. And those final race results in just a moment's time. You're watching the Saturday Night Racing League presented by M&J Distributors. More coverage on VSPEED. Post-race after this.
Real quick, you both stop the real quick cut. Double check the steering wheel.
Donnie Kite's going to get through it all and score his first career win in the Saturday Night Racing League Cup Series. What a finish!
It's too little, too late from behind, and Sebastian Marin, your first repeat top split winner of the qualifying series.
We knew it was just a matter of time. Hunter Sr. is victorious.
Josh Adams taking the win at Iowa.
GC Spider Motorsports takes home the 1, 2, 3 finish.
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs. From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items. Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
Introducing Tractor USA, the best way to buy and sell premium ag and construction equipment. Tractor USA was designed to be straightforward, simple, and affordable with zero commission and live auctions every week. Tractor USA auctions offer the finest selection of pre-owned tractors, combines, and other ag and construction equipment from across the United States and the world. Simply go to tractorusa.com to get started today.
Walking and rolling costumes started when my son Reese was born with cancer.
So when I was 3 years old, I got my first wheelchair.
And he wanted to be Wall-E for Halloween that year. And so I knew you couldn't buy a costume to go on a wheelchair at that time. So I knew I had to build one.
My dad ended up building a Wall-E costume out of a Dell computer box.
When we were all finished, he loved it. We took pictures of it and shared it on social media. So many people started sharing it that we started getting requests from people we didn't know.
In 2015, we decided to build them for other kids because people were asking, hey, can you build them for my kid?
So we started the nonprofit organization, Walking and Rolling Costumes, and we build costumes for kids all over the nation, free of charge to the families.
Welcome back to Homestead, Miami. Second race of the chase, and season number 6 has found its new points leader. Another victory, 4 on the season now for Joshua Banks in the 35. He was your pole sitter tonight. That doesn't tell the whole story. This race went green all the way through to lap 106 actually, where we had a caution come out with Chuck Sweeting taking the road course down to the inside, enough to trigger a yellow. Chuck Sweeting probably feeling bad about that, but I know it's an admin rule there, so I'm sure they're gonna have a talk with him in this post race. But final race results and race recap: 1 caution, 11 lead changes. Joshua Banks finds his way back to the top spot in these closing laps and pulls away a full 2 seconds over Bailey Turner, AJ Stravato. Those 3, man, class of the field here really was the 17 of Adam Cabot, who's not even going to get the finish he deserved. It's Elliott Butler with a top 5 finish, did what he needed to do. Points leader coming into tonight will most likely maintain a top 3 in points. J.R. Shepard will stay in 5th spot. Dakota Floyd 6th. Kenny Kibbe, and, a lot of positions gained. I believe that's going to be the Clark Print Shop. No, that's going to be Elliott Butler. So the 6th going to get that award for the Clark Print Shop biggest mover. Kenny Kibbe is going to gain 11 positions to finish in the top 10, with Jeff Wright, a recovery, but not the result he wanted. Fought for the lead, fought for the top 3, ends up 8th. Philip Brewer, 9th. Another one of those drivers that fought for the top 3. And Justin Ritchie rounding out your top 10.
Unofficially 14th win for Banks in the series overall. I believe his 4th of the season, which is 2nd. And he unofficially takes a 3-point lead over Elliott Butler, 5 points over Bailey Turner, and Kenny Kibbe 4th, 19 points back. So 3 drivers have separated themselves unofficially for sure. Chad Klinger ends up 11th, plus 10 for him, plus 10 for Bryce Shoemaker as well. They had a great battle to the line, only separated by a few hundredths, 11th and 12th. Matt Shanofsky, I don't think we talked about him more than once tonight. Quiet day, but a good finish. 13th for him. Seth Hatchell, I think, is going to be the one who's disappointed. He ran top 10 a lot tonight. He only ends up 14th. But Derek Harrison, 4 starts, 4 top 15s. He kept that streak going. Stephen Davis, 16th. Brian Chandler, 17th. Caleb Weekly, another one. Didn't talk about a lot tonight as well. Not the best of nights, but 18th. Adam Cabot's the one you got to feel for. I think he just gave up in the final laps of that one. He led 89 laps. He was cruising to victory. You will not want to watch what the yellow was for sure. He ends up drifting to 19th, and Chris Hodges got the yellow he needed, but then got put in the wall by Seth Hatchell. He'll be upset about that for sure. He ends up 20th.
Austin Belkey will finish in 21st spot after starting in 28th, so a gain there. Then Laughter kind of ends up where he started in 22nd. Casey Lakatos will finish 23rd. Excuse me. Brandon Wallace will finish 24th, last car on the lead lap. And then it's Broderick Baklavic. Of course, that speeding penalty on pit road. Ray Massey was looking for a top 10, maybe even a top 5, and then 23 execution off of pit road on that last round of pit stops. Never could get back on the lead lap. Keith Shoemaker, going to finish 27th. And of course, we talked about the 75 of Chuck Sweeting here at the end of it. But we're going to continue our post-race coverage and bring our first driver in for victory lane. We got to find him. Joshua Banks is partying. I mean, he's been partying. We'll bring him into the broadcast booth. He's still trying to figure out, hey, you felt like, man, another one that got away. I tell you what, that pit stop execution, it all goes back to that. Getting out of pit road and getting clean air.
Oh, dude, I'm watching it back and I'm trying to figure it out too. I was sitting there like dissecting every 10th. Like I don't legitimately understand how I beat him that much off pit road. I am flabbergasted, honestly. That's a first. It's a first, and I'll gladly be the first. Let's go.
So first time for everything. First win in the chase. You get your 4th victory on the season, 14 total in these 6 seasons. How are those statistics feeling now? Confidence boost as you could possibly win your 2nd championship. It's starting to look a little more hopeful.
It's getting there. That's what we need to do tonight is get this W and put ourselves in a good buffer for next week, because at least for next week, because that one's going to be an interesting race. I will be at the beach. I will be racing next week, and hopefully the internet at the Airbnb is suffice. But we will be racing with a Logitech GT racing wheel. I mean, it's all bare bones, but we're going after this championship. So, yeah,
that's a
it's
good starter wheel, right? That's a good starter wheel. That's what they keep telling me. But it's such a difference when you have something, you know, that you're used to. You're in this environment that never changes. You've got your wheel, your setup, you know, your internet, you know, everything about your rig. And you're going to change all of that for the 3rd race of the chase.
It's a gamble, but you know, we were planning this vacation and it just all lied together oddly. So it is what it is. But we're going to, thankfully it's Michigan. It's not like a Bristol or Martinsville or something or a road course for that matter. So, thankfully it's a track that I think not a lot of brakes going to be used. It's just going to be positioning of the car and knowing what you're doing on track. So, we'll see what happens. I'm hoping we can just at least salvage that one and come out finishing decent. I'm not expecting to do good that race, but we'll see what happens.
Saw the fist pump coming off of turn 4. We saw a fist pump coming out of pit road. It was the exact opposite of that at the start of the race. There was a lot of communication, a lot of mixed words, I would say, at the start. How are you feeling? I mean, you never know how these things are going to turn out, Josh.
No, and I have a tendency to lose patience sometimes. So when I first 10 laps are going, you know, I'm sitting there, I'm like, car's getting tight. I'm in dirty air. And I'm thinking, I mean, I was the pole sitter. So you're in your mind, you're thinking, well, darn, man, I should be up top 3 right now running, you know, racing for a lead or just maintaining the spot. But no, I was dropping. So, you know, my confidence was dropping. And I don't know why I did that. My arm was twitching, but it just was not looking good for me. And I've seen it before where if I fall off like that, my tires, I don't think are holding up as good as the guys in front. In the past, in previous races, I've seen that many a time. And he's just laughing at me in Discord. He's just like, dude, you were sitting there crapping on yourself, telling everybody like going to draw back and you suck and da 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 da. And we get 40, 50 laps in a run and I'm passing them again. So it like you said, it is something that you don't know how these races are going to go. You just got to play it out, especially at the beginning of the race. Just sit down, hunker down, and figure it out. And that's essentially what I had to do is like, okay, I'm falling back a little bit, save the stuff, figure out what line would help. And the second run definitely helped figure that out. But of course we had clean air too for the most part, but we figured out a line, and that's what allowed me to race like I did in this last run against Cabot, which I will say was a good battle. And I didn't think I was able to do it, but doggone it, here we are.
Congratulations, Josh. I know this one's special, and it looks like you're pretty happy about it. Going on to Michigan next week. Good luck. I know celebrations here on the Twitch stream and on the YouTube stream. So thanks to the iRacer. Go ahead and shout those people out that you got to thank for this 4th win.
Well, I mean, obviously Sad Boys kind of just got into the team, so to speak, hanging out with him and everything. And now we just kind of teamed up, so to speak. So shout out to all our buddies here in the Sad Boys team. And shout out to you guys up in the booth for putting on a good broadcast, obviously every week. And of course, our partners and everybody on Saturday Night Racing League, we got the JS Studios, 29 Graphics, Clark, Print Shop, Firestorm Racing, Walk and Roll Costumes, and VSPEED, or of course VSPEED, but and then M&J Distributors for me, so sponsoring the league. So just thanks everybody for what they do with the league and the admins for putting on a good league every single week. It's a good chase, and I said this last week. I think I said this in the booth last week that we were going out and going to do our best to be in that championship hunt, and we put it on the table today, and luck fell our way, caution fell our way, and we just took advantage of it and got the win. And I'm stoked, and just hoping to continue this momentum. Want to keep on trying and just finish her out strong.
New points leader after Homestead going on to Michigan, Joshua Banks. Appreciate you coming and talking to us. See you next week.
I appreciate you, buddy.
There you have it. Race winner, Joshua Banks in the number 35. As we move on to your second place finisher, Connor Horn has caught up with Bailey Turner.
And he probably had an average running position in the top 5 somewhere, so hard to believe he didn't officially lead a lap, and he ends up second. Obviously, odd finish to that one. Race went fully green, Bailey, then it didn't. Then he had not really a short run to the end, but definitely didn't have to save too much tire compared to what you had to. What were your feelings on the yellow? Were you happy for it? Would you rather it have gone green? Where do you think you were at that point?
Yeah, it was kind of one of those, damned if you do, damned if you don't situations for me, because Josh was ahead, and I think realistically it would have been better off him, finishing the race second or third versus, winning the race and me finishing second. So unfortunate, but yeah, just we were all talking, man. We were sweating our butts off in that race. Just so hard to drive and trying some crazy brake bias combos because this thing was an absolute dump truck tonight. And yeah, just tire management. I felt like that first run, I never really got a real chance to manage the tires because we were battling Jeff for 10 laps and then battling Phillip and just use the rears, use the fronts, and yeah, had to kind of settle in that second run and gain my track position back. And then that third run, I think we were going to settle right in there for probably a fourth place finish. But like you said, crazy way for yellow to come out, unfortunately. But worked in my favor and also worked against me with Banks, taking over that points lead. So, yeah, can't be mad with the P2, but still unfortunate set of circumstances.
Definitely unfortunate. I think it's probably the least excited you'll probably ever be for P2, at least so far. And honestly, we saw, obviously, earlier in the race, you guys battle for second hard. Adam Cabot goes out 7 seconds in the lead, kind of had it won. Then we saw the yellow when Joshua Banks got the lead. He kind of had to battle 17 a little bit, but he seemed mostly unbothered by it. It seemed like clean air more than anywhere else was really key today.
Yeah, no, it was all night just battle of clean air, who can get it. I didn't think it would be that big of a deal at the beginning of the race, but I mean, like you said, you saw Adam just eventually take off, and yeah, I think that clean air is probably what also saved me at the end battling AJ. He did a really good job managing his stuff throughout that last run, and I had used mine to have to battle Adam and him kind of aero blocking me, and kind of had to turn around and unfortunately do that to AJ. But I appreciate him racing me as clean as he could while still battling hard, and heck, he almost wrecked himself trying to keep it off of me. So yeah, appreciate him, and yeah, just looking forward to getting to Michigan.
Yeah, we'll get to Michigan for sure. 3 races to go. You're now second in the points unofficially by 3. 3 different tracks. Michigan, the 2-mile, Bristol, the half-mile, and Kansas, the last mile and a half of the season. And you know how important wins are. Do you probably think you need to win at least one of these to win the championship?
Yeah, for sure. I think, you have it with the points, the bonus points you get for winning the race. It's so valuable. You look at Josh, he jumped from P3 to P1, and I'm somehow didn't gain a single spot there. So yeah, just yeah, I don't know, man. It's gonna be tough. I think Michigan is my best opportunity. As much as we talk about how much I love short tracks, Bristol's always been one of those hit or miss tracks where I feel like you're right there, but it's so track position dependent. And you look at like a guy like Josh. I mean, he is so good at short tracks and managing his run, so it's going to take a little bit of luck there. And yeah, I think it's going to come down to Kansas at the end. I think if obviously you can't ever count out somebody like Jeff or those guys. I mean, if he pulls off a win at Michigan or Bristol, and those guys are going to be right back in it. So it's probably going to come down right to the end. just I hope we're there.
Hard to believe after a third last week and a second this week, you actually between these weeks lost a point to the points lead, but that's how it's gone with the wins, the way they've swung. But either way, good run. You're still right in the hunt with a few others. Anyone else you want to thank or shout out for the race and how you ran today?
Yeah, shout out to teammates Josh, AJ, Adam. It was good to have Adam back this week. Unfortunate for him on the caution and a slow pit stop. He was really the class of the field all night. So yeah, just happy to be out here with the guys. We were going to finish 1 through 4 there, and it was going to be a great night. But we came up a little bit short, but still fun stuff.
It's P2 for Bailey Turner. 5 points out of the race lead with 3 races to go. Thanks for talking to us. We'll see you up in Michigan.
Thanks.
It's got to be a weird feeling. He's finished third and second, and he was 4 back last week, and then a second. He finishes better, and he lost a point. That's how the format is. The winning still matters so much, and I agree with his take. You're happy you gain spots, but if that non-chase guy in Cabot wins, that's great for everyone because it keeps everyone right on top of each other. But Banks, a huge deal for him to get that win, and Turner knew it.
And we're catching up down on pit road with the third place finisher now. It will be AJ Stravato. Battle hard there at the tail end of this race. And I know you guys communicating, teammates, of course, the door bang all the way around for 1.5 miles. You did your best. I mean, just third place. It was just a weird day.
It was a weird, I can't believe how that caution played out. We were just looking to kind of bide our time and get a top 3. Realistically, I think we had really good long run pace there, but the gap to Adam was too big right there. But yeah, me and Bailey raced really hard at the end there. That was a lot of fun. It's so tough to pass here. It really, really is. So I just tried to search around a little bit for clean air and grip, and Bailey's the master at dirty air mirror driving. He does it really well, and obviously we're racing for a championship, so every point matters, and I think we raced as hard and respectfully as we possibly could. Anger or any hard feelings towards that was I think how racing should be, hard and clean. So shout out to Bailey for that. Always race him hard and clean. I always can trust him, but wish we had a little bit more track position at the start of the race there. If we had that, I think the middle run right there, even with the lap older tires, we were able to pull on Adam by 2 seconds there. So just wish I was a little bit better on these restarts and getting track position, but can't complain about a top 3.
Well, AJ, we saw kind of this transition of the racetrack. The temperature started out around the 130-degree mark, and by the end of this race, it was in the 110, 110s. You transition this race. Did you feel like the car was changing? Was the track changing? Maybe that's what happened as well at the tail end of this.
A little bit. I mean, you can definitely feel the grip change. I think it started off, in practice it was like 138, and then it got down kind of like the 110, 115 range. So in terms of just like drivability into the corner and maybe like grabbing a little bit of grip down in the corner, you can. But overall, the cooler the temp gets, the harder it's going to be to realistically pass, because everybody's just going to be so even, and tire wear and search around is going to be even more of a, I guess, a penalty. So if the setup maybe was a little bit more drivable on the front end, just wasn't push in, tight off kind of thing, maybe iRacing could get their head out of their ass one day and make a good setup. But we'll be waiting until then. But that's just kind of how you have to drive in this tire model. Maybe some dynamic track being added or something can fix it. But until iRacing stops catering to shitters, this is where we're gonna have to drive for a little bit until we get some custom setups.
Say what you really mean, AJ. We appreciate you coming up here and talking to us. Anybody want to shout out here for third?
Yeah, sorry. But yeah, just shout out to all my teammates, Banks, Bailey, Angela's not here, Adam, all the guys that make it fun. This is a nice little weekend getaway to race. My teammates at Nexus Esports and Aftermark Coffee and Lucky Duck Motorsports.
AJ Stravato, third place here at Homestead. Should gain out of that off week you had there at Talladega and should catapult yourself back in that top 10 in points. We'll see you next week at Michigan.
Yes, sir.
Looking for that 4th win on the season. And it's statistically a good place for him to do it, Connor. I think of all the tracks that we've went to, that one really fits in his wheelhouse.
And we'll see if he could just be able to pull it off. I think it's going to be a dogfight from what I've seen racing wise at Michigan in the past with this car. I mean, a lot of on throttle time. You're really having to stay in the throttle a lot at Michigan. So we're probably going to see some crazy racing on short runs, and we might not get a lot of green flag running. And the draft is going to be important. We're going to have to wait to see how that all plays out. But we mentioned it when we were talking to Bailey Turner. Saturday Night Racing League this season's down to 3 races and 3 completely different racetracks. It's high banked, pretty smooth 2-miler at Michigan. You got the concrete surface at Bristol, the half-mile, world's fastest half-mile, which could always provide chaos. And then the 1.5 mile at Kansas. We know how great that track races. That's where it's all going to be decided. And we're not down to 3 drivers yet, but we've definitely seen Banks, Elliott Butler, and Bailey Turner really separate themselves from the rest of the field. How about Elliott Butler? If he could pull this off, it would be an incredible upset. But Cinderella stories don't happen very often, and this is going to be a tough one to pull off. But great run for him tonight.
Cinderella story. Everybody likes a comeback. Everybody likes an underdog, and we're going to see it July 25th. I'm still stuck in June. 10 p.m. Eastern Time, Michigan International. A great place to race and multi-groove action at its best. It'll be bad fast, and we hope you can join us here on VSPEED. We have flag-to-flag coverage of season number 6. We've covered every single season of Saturday Night Racing League. But for everybody that helped make this possible, all of the sponsors with M&J Distributors coming on as the main title sponsor, Walking and Rolling Costumes, 29 Graphics, FireStorm Racing, RSR Driver Cams, everybody that helps put this on with Clark Print Shop and everyone in between, the admin team at Saturday Night Racing League. It's Bradley Cooper and Connor Horn saying so long from Homestead, Miami. We'll see you in 1 week's time in the hills of Michigan.